Hi everyone, Noel here, Essendon Mowers Motorcycles. So I've got a few products here to unbox. As you know, we try and stay up with every product that's coming out as far as robotics goes, mowers, line markers, things like that. So I'm going to do a series of videos on them, and I'm going to start with a couple today. We'll unbox them, show you what's in them, and talk a little bit about the brand. Not sure whether we're taking them on or not, but we get sent these for testing and so forth, and that's what we're going to do. So you'll see some of the videos. We'll potentially end up with a line marker running and mark some sort of a oval at the back or a soccer field or something, run some mowers, etc., and show you a little bit of the gear that's coming, just some of the ideas, and if they're appropriate and we believe they're right, we will stock them, we will sell them, so long as the product's good, the backup service is good, and the price is right. So let's get underway and do a few. This one here is called the Anthbot. It's from Mower, so these are definitely coming to the country. They've sent me a couple to test. Now, as I say, I don't know whether we will stock them. Some outlets will, but we may definitely stock them, depending on the product, how well it performs up against what we're already using, and what they're worth, and what you get, value for money. And if there's something special about them, we'll point it out to you. So off we go. So the first one we're doing is the Anthbot. That's this one here. So let's check it out, what's in the box, what it comes with. So they'll all come with the same thing, I imagine. The poles for setting up the reference stations. This unit uses reference station and vision, which is great. And it's from Mower. Mower's is part of the Dreamy product. I actually have a Dreamy vacuum cleaner which works extremely well, so I'm reasonably confident these will be a pretty good mower. But let's wait and see. We might fasten some of this up, otherwise I'm going to take a while, so we might cut and shut a few of the unboxing parts and let you see how we go from there. So as you can see, I've taken it all out of the box. It was really well packaged. Nothing was going to move in there, so that's good. As most robots are, they're really well done. As I say, it runs on vision, quad vision, so 4 cameras and a reference station. Yes, RTK. I've noticed one thing immediately, and that is that it doesn't have a separate power supply for the reference station. So your reference station does need to be reasonably close to your charging station, but there are extension leads. They look to be about 10 metres, so that's a guess, but I reckon you'll have a 10-metre extension lead for both the reference station and the charging station from your power supply. So power supply to the charging station to your reference station. So it's getting its power from the charging station. So far, it looks pretty good. Underneath, as you can see, 5 blades on a spinning disc. The height adjustment is also electronic because there's no manual dial on the top. 2 casters on the front, drive wheels on the back, so it's a 2-wheel drive unit. Looks to here to have access to battery, so they look like they're reasonably easily accessed. And you've also got a point here where you can plug in and update firmware and things by the looks. But yeah, all in all, pretty simple. Be interesting to see. There's a fair few cavities up here, so we'll get a lot of grass, I would imagine, up in top. So we need to also look at how the top comes off to clean that out. But it is mainly for domestic use. This one's up to 600 square metres of lawn. So we'll get it all set up and we'll give it a test and see how it goes in location. Here we are with the Anthbot. I've mapped an area of my neighbour's place on the front nature strip and into their front lawn a little bit. They love it when I bring mowers home to test because I get to mow their lawns for them. So I've just started this one off on a zigzag course to do 2 passes. So it'll go this way first and then it'll do it 90 degrees the other direction. So just showing you as it started off to do a bit of a mow. It's set at 30 millimetres, which is as low as setting for these units. Possibly I'd like to go a bit lower. There may be a way of making some spaces up for them. And it's a little bit of a different app to set up and mow. They've all got their little idiosyncrasies or whatever they call it, where they make some little changes to the app to make it a little bit harder when you know one and then you try to do another. But anyway, we got it done. We've mapped it. was more about doing the channels and getting it to map certain areas first. This has got 4 cameras on it, so it's definitely picking up on things like the bit of brown dirt that was here and that manhole cover that's there. It's seeing it and it's avoiding it, and it's mowing around it, and it's getting fairly close to all the things as it does it. It just comes backwards and forwards and does it all in different directions. So it seems to be doing a pretty good job, but we'll wait till it finishes, because sometimes these are smarter than you think, and they'll come back and do areas you think they've missed at another time. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it does this bit of lawn. Okay, so here's the Anthbot that we were doing the test on earlier, and I showed you out the front. So it's come back and charging itself. I'm just going to show you where it's travelled, how it's travelled out along here, out to the front, because I actually was mowing the neighbour's place, as I said. They don't mind. I've got robots that do all the neighbours' places around here, well, about 5 of them. Mine personal one travels down the street and does about 5 homes and a bit of a parkland out the back. So they're all quite keen for me to have these things running around. So as you can see, it's travelled a fair way up this driveway and into the property next door, just their front area. Just hang on to me dog for a minute. Don't want him running across the road. And there's the finished article. So it's made it quite well. It did 2 passes in different directions. But as I say, we're testing these units, and I cannot, probably stress more highly that there's a lot of shops out there that may be selling robot mowers, but not many of them are specialised, and I would suggest to get the right advice from a specialised robot mower sales centre, because we're there to support you. We're there to give you advice, any issues when you're setting them up and so forth, and help you out. Whereas if you tend to buy from a department store or something like that, they're only going to be selling you the models that they actually sell. They wouldn't have tested all the models out there to make sure they're giving you the best model for your property and the best product value-wise and specific to what you actually want to do with it. Whether you've got a small property, large property, acreage, what sort of obstacles, all that sort of stuff. It's really important that you have the right backup in the background for your advice to be able to mow your property properly. There's nothing worse than, it took me a while even to get my vacuum working inside, but there was no one I could ring as a specialist to say, what am I doing wrong? Whereas with the mowers, there are some specialists out there. There's us in Victoria. I can actually mention a couple of others, one in New South Wales, one in Queensland that I'm very much aware of, which is Robot Mowers Australia and Robot Lawn Mowers Australia. They're both very good at what they do, and they're specialists in the field as we are. And I'd suggest that really, if you want to do your job properly and not waste your time or money on something that may not be specific to what you need, go and see a specialist, not just a department store. Anyway, that's a couple more we've tested, and we'll keep going and showing you what's happening. Thanks again. Bye. Come on. In we go. Come on, inside, round the back. Good boy. Good boy. Keep coming.